100%. Paano ba nga mga anak yung mga tao? So, paano ang replacement dyan? That's the first issue. The second issue is economics, budget. Gusto nila ang gobyerno gumasa dito dahil sabi nila hindi raw kaya ng mga ordinaryong mga kababaihan yung pagbili ng contraceptive dahil araw-araw ito. I am not so sure about the cost of one pill, an oral contraceptive, but let's say it is 10 pesos. I understand that in the Philippines there are about 25 million childbearing women of childbearing age. 25 million. Sabihin natin araw-araw bawat isa sa kanila kailangan ng contraceptive. O kaya kalahati lang. 10 million, lagay natin sa 10 million. Times 10 pesos, that's 100 million. 100 million. 365 days, that is 36.5 billion pesos. 36.5 billion pesos. Ang budget natin for school building is only 5 billion. Ang budget natin for training sa TESDA is only 700 million. Binabaan pa yan. Kasi kulang daw tayo ng pondo. You know, if we want to really convert our manpower, our human capital, into assets, we have to give them education, we have to give them training, we have to give them support, we have to give them medical care. So, saan natin ilalagay yung 36 billion na yan? Di ba mas maigi ilagay yan sa training ng labor natin so that they can become more competitive globally? Ilagay mo yung 5 billion sa TESDA. You know, 5 billion in TESDA can probably train about 200,000 workers already who can be globally competitive. Isipin mo ang malaking maitutulong yan sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. Right now, the biggest single component of our GDP is the OFW. They are contributing $18 billion per year. What is the GNP of the country? 161 billion as of 2009. More than 10% is contributed by the OFW. Yung mga OFW, galing ba sila sa mga mayayaman? Kasi ang parati sinasabi ng mga author ng RH, ang nakakapagpahirap daw sa bansa natin, yung mga mahihirap na maraming anak. Kaya humihirap tayo, kaya hindi umangat yung malaking burden daw sa ating economy, yung mga mahihirap na maraming anak. False. Because most of these OFWs come from families that are poor. Hindi sila galing sa Bel Air, hindi sila galing sa Palms Park, hindi sila galing sa BF Homes. Galing sila sa mga mahihirap na lugar all over the country at galing sila sa mga mahihirap na pamilya na merong maraming anak. 5 children, 7 children. Hindi sila mga uniko iho. Hindi sila mga unika iha ng mga mayayamang pamilya. They are the ones who are propping up the economy of the country. Tapos sasabihin, sila ang nagpapahirap sa bansa natin. Sila ang nagpapayaman sa bansa natin. And we need more of them. This human capital. Pero importante, bigyan natin ng tamang training. Diyan natin dapat ilagay. Hindi sa contraceptives, not for population control. Ngayon, sinasabi nila, meron ng survey. More than 60% are in favor of the RH bill. But they also did not reveal that in the survey, they found out that 90% of the people that they surveyed have not read the RH bill. So how can they proceed with the survey if the respondent has not read the RH bill? How can that respondent give an informed opinion on the RH bill, on the bill that he has not read? Dapat pagdating doon, tinigil nila yung survey nila. Yung daw nag-survey, binibigyan ng briefing yung respondent on the contents of the RH bill. Ano palay ng surveyor na yun magpaliwanag ng RH bill? Mismo mga author nga ng RH bill, hindi may paliwanag na maayos yung RH bill. Pag nag-i-interpolate ako, daming bagay hindi nila masagot. Yung pang mga magbibigay ng survey. So, ang tanong kasi is very deceptive. Are you in favor of reproductive health? Who would be against reproductive health? Are you in favor of cardiovascular health? Of course. Are you in favor of digestive health? Of course. Oh, pag sinabing are you in favor of cardiovascular health? Siyempre, ang sagot, yes. Eh, pag sinabing are you in favor of smoking for your cardiovascular health? Then, di ba na ang sitwasyon dyan, di ba? So yun ang sinasabi natin. Marami pang mga bagay. The other issue that is not being answered by the RH people in promoting contraceptives is the finding of so many studies that oral contraceptives may cause cancer. At hindi lamang po si Roy Logores ang nagsasabi niyan, 2007 WHO finding. Recently, the National Cancer Institute of the United States that it may enhance the incidence of cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, and liver cancer. The UK Cancer Research, the Harvard Medical School, the Indian Journal of Medical Ethics, and even a finding by the chairperson of the Committee on Ethics of the Makati Medical Society. So ito yung mga bagay na dapat masagot. Ngayon, kung talagang gusto nila ipagpumilit ito, dapat ipaliwanag din nila yung mga complications. There should be an appropriate warning. Katulad din ng mga ibang mga bagay na ginagamit natin, may warning na pwede makakos yan ng cholesterol problem, pwede magkakos ng lung cancer, hindi ho biro. And if you look at the statistics, the rise of the incidence of breast cancer started when oral contraceptives became prevalent in the early 60s. So these are things that cannot be ignored. If we're thinking of the health of our people, we should consider all of this and resolve this even before they are promoted.
Okay. Bago natin na dalhin dun sa usapin ng PALEA, medyo natuksula kung magpahabol ng tanong. Congressman Coles, pardon my innocent or ignorant mind, as the case may be. Paano ko i-monitor yung 36 billion pesos na ipopondo sa contraceptives? Hindi ko kaya mag-away ang mag-asawa nito. Eh, 10 pa lang kinuha mo, 5 lang kinamit mo sa akin.
Yung nga ang nakakapagtaka dito dahil siyempre 36 billion pesos, alam niyo na kung sino magiging masaya dyan pag ang gobyerno nagpondo dyan. Magiging masaya siyempre yung mga distributors and manufacturers of contraceptives. Yung condom, ganun din. Siyempre, kung kailangan ng condom, in fact, I was debating with the former Secretary of Health on TV when I said that a person who may need condom may need it at least once a week. Ang sabi niya, sobra naman daw yun. Sabi ko, mukhang sa ibang planeta yata, nagmula itong Secretary of Health natin na to an able-bodied Filipino man, once a week